Let's take a look at some of the top movers of the day. Our senior autos reporter, Pras Subramanian, here with a look at Lucid, because shares closing the day in the red. And let's take a look at where Lucid is closing. I believe they're closing in the red today as the company announces, quite a bit, as the company announces that it will provide electric vehicle discounts for 2 EV models that priced above the threshold for a government subsidy. Pras, when we talk about the strategy here, clearly they're trying to boost demand. Now, these are for vehicles that don't even come close to what that federal subsidy would be, right?
Yeah, I mean, they're giving you this. If you can't get the credit, they'll give it to you, right? $7,500, but funded by Lucid themselves for 2 models, the Lucid Touring and the Grand Touring, both starting over $100,000. So yeah, you're not going to get it for that usually, but hey, they'll give it to you now because they want to really boost sales, and they'll take the hit financially right now in order to just sort of get more car, people's more in their hands. But the thing ends end of March, which is an interesting date because that's when the new battery requirements come into place potentially by Treasury. And there's thought that once those new requirements are in place, no car will be able to get that tax credit. So they're just going to go with the flow until March 31st and then take that hit, sell more cars. And then when it goes away for everybody, they'll be fine.
I'm not sure on the top end. You're talking about the Touring and the Touring Grand, 107, 138. If you're spending that in a car, I'm not sure you care about $7 grand. But I'm just curious about the stock falling almost 11% on this should be good news. We saw it really benefited Tesla. What do you make of the stock drop?
I mean, the problem is they don't make enough, and they don't make any money really on their cars so far. They're all negative. It's all negative margins.
Goodbye margins. They're already
whatever
gone.
you had are going to be hit by $7,500 each. I mean, that's like 8%, right? If not less. So it's not a good thing for them. But they're just willing to take the hit. They have money to run, they have money to burn for now at least, and just trying to get more cars into the hands of owners.
Well, Pras, another story that we're watching in the auto space is GM. They have a new chip-making partner. What is happening here, and how big of an improvement could this potentially be for GM's inventory?
You know, GM didn't suffer that badly last quarter with regards to chip prices, but now they're kind of taking their matters in their own hands here with the exclusive deal with Global Foundries. Chips made in the U.S. and upstate New York. They're calling it the capacity corridor for GM's chips. Huge for GM here because, you know, they're getting these chips that they say they might need a double amount for in a couple of years because, you know, they want to reduce the complexity, use simpler chips, more of them in their products. And it's also a big win for Joe Biden, right? President's Chips Act here. Also, Senator Schumer, he's a co-sponsor of the bill. He also talked about touting the Empire State region as an area for chip building. A few couple of details that we're not hearing about the amount of money invested in the factory when they didn't say what that was going to be. We didn't hear about chip capacity, but we do know that Global Foundries invested something like $15 billion in that upstate plant in New York. So really bringing home a lot of that chip building here as opposed to building it elsewhere.
And Pras, do you also think that this might be the start of something more when you talk about some of the competitors out there who have also had some supply issues? Maybe they will be turning to more manufacturers inside the U.S.? Yeah,
why isn't Ford doing this, right? And maybe they will be. Maybe they will do it soon because they have a ton of cars built in the U.S. coming online soon, 2024, 2025. So why wouldn't you line up a chip deal with one of these manufacturers and then use the U.S. incentives to build that factory here?
What has the analyst reaction been so far, just in terms of the fact that these automakers are still struggling with supply issues at this point, and we're almost 3 years since the start of the pandemic?
You know, it's funny. A lot of the analysts, it seems to me the analyst chatter is that they take the automakers at their word that they will be able to supply these 100,000, 500,000, even 1 million vehicles by 2025. But you have to wonder, A, where are you going to get the materials for the batteries? And B, are there enough chips there? I think there are enough chips. I think it's more of a battery issue. So I think analysts are saying this is a good thing for GM. It's a good sign that they want to take it into their own hands, get their own chip supply direct from them, exclusive to them. So I think it's smart. I think you'll see more manufacturers do that potentially in the future.
All right, Pras, good stuff. Appreciate that.